Hello there, this is Jeff Erdman, E.D.S. Inc. Shandon, and we have another little video that we're going to prepare today for you. What we have is, I wanted to show you my Monarch Lathe. This is the lathe here. This is a 16-inch lathe. It actually has about an 18-inch swing on it, and well, 18.5 it says. 18.5 actual swing. The distance between centers is 30-inch. The manufacturer's number on it is 29920. It was built in February 1947. And it's seen a lot of hard use. This is not running yet. It was running when I purchased it originally. But we had a little mishap with it, offloading it. This thing fell over on its side. We had it on a wood cart, and the wood cart cracked and fatigued and rolled over. And if it rolled onto the back, it probably wouldn't have hurt much of anything, but it rolled over in the front and it broke quite a few of the handles and that sort of thing. And so that caused some damage. The machine has been well used, so there's a lot of things that have to be fixed on it. A lot of bearing surfaces that need to be redone, and bronze bearings that need to be replaced, and that sort of thing. And so we're going to be rebuilding this in our spare time, and which I don't have a whole lot of. Like everybody else, we're busy folks. We've got a couple of things I'll show you here on the camera that we've started to fix. We've got a one of the handles here. We took this is cast iron handle, and it broke right in half right through here, and so we brazed this all back together again. And I think you can see the brazing there. It came out pretty nice and strong again. So I think this will serve us real well. When my nephew was here with me, he wanted to start working on it, so he was really excited about that. So I let him go ahead and start doing some of the brazing on it, and he did a nice job on it. I really appreciated it. One of the things that we have a issue with, and I'll get right back to you. We have these little pole handles. They have this little pin in them right here. The pole pin in this one, you can see the end of it quite bent. If you saw the other side, it's bent back the other direction. It was just totally thrashed on the fall. So this was bent as well. You can still see some damage to it here. Fortunately, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I could probably remake this without too much of a problem, but this is not going to affect how it works. There's another part that fits inside of it and slides in there quite nicely yet. The thing that's the real issue is this pin that got busted. I'm going to take you, I'm going to show you a little bit up close the issues that I'm facing with my Monarch. One of the things that you can look at here, and you can clearly see this in this, the bearing surfaces in both of these are oblong, and you can see the wear pattern in there really well. It's like an egg shape in there. So we're going to press those bearings out. We're not going to do that tonight, but we're going to press those bearings out and make new bearings and run those in there, unless I can find some of the right size for McMaster car. Now these little tips here got busted off as well. My nephew brazed those back on. I'm going to have to mill this out. There's a little slot on each side of this, so we'll have to remill that out. So that'll be something that we'll be looking at in the future as well, as far as a fix on this. And then this will be able to be put back on. I'm going to take the camera off and we'll go down to the lathe. So this is my Oliver lathe, and one of the things where those bronze bearings are, you can see all sorts of wear on this shaft. So I'm going to figure out a way of using my Oliver to grind that down. I'll have to come up with some ingenious way of holding it because I don't have a hole through the chuck that would take that size. And I'm going to have to trim that down. It's supposed to be 1 inch. I'm going to have to take that down a little bit, probably 15/16 or something like that to clean it up, because those are pretty deep grooves. This shaft down here, you can see the ridge on the side, all the wear pattern in here. It's kind of surprising to me that it must have got really filthy. That bearing must have just got totally filthy and they never took care of it, because that is just totally ugly. So we're going to have to do the same thing with that one. We'll have to clean it up and then make a bearing to fit it. Now coming down here, you see we got a busted handle here. So we're going to have to replace that. Most all the handles on this were all in good shape. This wheel got pressed inward slightly, but evenly all the way around. I'm surprised that this wasn't busted off, but it wasn't. Then we have this handle here. This one here was broken off. We had a few other, this was popped off. We'll be able to fix that, no problem. Here's my biggest problem right here. I'm going to have to pull this whole thing apart to get to that so we could braze that. We have a couple of other pieces up here that need to be raised and fixed. But you can imagine how disappointed it was when this thing rolled. If it broke on the other side, that dolly I was using had broken on the other side, which, you know, this is my fault. This is a heavy machine. I shouldn't have been putting it on a wood dolly. So it's totally my fault, a dumb mistake. And but if it rolled over on the back side, there's nothing to break over there. So it wouldn't have caused any harm. You can see I've already started pulling things off. I've got the tailstock down. Things are pulled off the cross feed. And we've started, but it's just, you know, it's a long process and I don't have a whole lot of time. So, but we'll get to it and we'll get her all fixed up. And it'll be kind of fun using the Oliver 25A to make parts and what have you for this to get this back going. We're going to replace any brass or bronze in it that's worn out, replace any bearings that need replacing, repaint it, and you know, go through all the gears, make sure that they're all in good shape, and put her back into service. That's our intent. Nice old lathe. I don't know how accurate the weighs are. I mean, like I said, this poor old thing was really abused. It doesn't look like anybody took real good care of it. You can see, well, if you shine this up really good, you can see on through here, this is all scratched up all the way along here. Now these are not. There's a couple of dents and stuff where they've hit and stuff, but they're not too badly scratched. But the bed itself was severely scratched. They just must have ran this back and forth over the metal shavings, never cleaned it out. It's pretty sad to see this old machine in that sort of shape, but we hope to clean her up. I doubt if I'll clean up the ways. I don't know that I need to have that type of an accuracy or not, but we'll see. Maybe down the road we'll pull this apart and get the ways straightened out and everything, scrape them in or whatever. We might do that with the bed. We'll probably fix that up. I noticed here it looks like there's some work on this part. There's a weld in here, so that must have cracked at one time or another, and they welded that. So and I'm sure I'm going to find all sorts of nifty things wrong with this as I go through it. But we'll eventually get it done. Thanks for joining us this evening, and we hope you continue to watch E.D.S. Inc. Shandon.